Let's start our morning satsang. In Bhagavad Gita, 4th chapter, Jnanakarma Sannyasa Yoga, 34th verse.
Tatvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshyanti te jnanam jnaninastattvadarshinaha.
Tatvidhi pranipadena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshyanti te jnanam jnaninaha tattvadarshinaha. The translation: understand these truths by humble submission, through enquiry or by resorting to the one who has perceived, experience the true and essential nature, and who will instruct you to that cognizance, who will transmit that experience to you. This verse is one of the popular verses of Bhagavad Gita. Tatvidhi pranipadena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnanina tattvadarshinaha. It's a very powerful verse. Please understand the essence of enlightenment. Bhagavan says very beautifully, understand these truths by humble submission, through enquiry, or by resorting to the one who has perceived, experienced the true essential nature, and who will transmit that experience to you. The key word in this whole sutra is pranipadena pariprashnena sevaya. I tell you, with humbleness and the attitude to imbibe, if you move, every stone tree will teach you. Forget about enlightened master teaching you. That will surely happen. But if you carry these two attitude of humbleness and attitude of learning, receiving, imbibing. Yesterday I was talking to one of our brahmachari. Casually I was mentioning how this whole Madurai Adinam is going to be rebuilt. We are going to make the whole thing into 5 floor. The opposite property also is going to become a 5 floor property, 5 floor. That's the maximum allowed limit by corporation. So we are planning. I was telling some of the minute details presented in Meenakshi temple architecture and Kashi Vishwanath temple. Actually, I wanted this place to be representing the whole India. So some of the minute details in Varanasi and Meenakshi temple, and there is a Sun temple in Konark, Orissa, which has a huge wheel with the 12 spokes. So I was talking about all these minute details, how this is going to be built. He was telling, how do you see all these details? Bless us also to get that. Please understand, so many people who live around me, whether they believe I am enlightened or incarnation or not, that is different. But all of them are baffled by my awareness and by my memory and the way I put things together. Seeing that everybody is shaken and baffled, that no doubt, it's non-controversial. Only my incarnation hood is controversial, but all the qualities of incarnation hood which I am expressing are non-controversial. It is non-controversial. It cannot be refuted. But I tell you really, keeping Shokkanatha and Meenakshi as a witness, I give you the secret of this quality. Understand, humbleness and attitude of imbibing. When I look at the temple, when I look at an architecture, when I look at a information, Even when I take up a new book to read, I completely submit myself with the attitude of imbibing. Understand? People who live around me would have observed. Even if I get a new laptop or a machine, I'll hold it in my hand for a few seconds. With all humbleness I submit to imbibe you as part of me. Even newspaper or any book, people who living around me would have observed it. Anything I touch, first I surrender with humble submission, attitude of imbibing. Please understand, there are very few spiritual methods I myself practice. Still now, I practice. This is one of the method or attitude still I practice. I go on practicing. Since unclutching and all I don't practice. I can't do also, that is different, because even to unclutch you need mind. I don't have, I can't practice. And puja, I don't practice. But in this the Madurai Adinam tradition, I am supposed to do puja every day to the deity of Shiva and Meenakshi. So you should see how I do puja. It will be very funny. Morning I will sit with the deities and I will pour first the water and fall into samadhi. And then I will wake up and put the sandal and fall into samadhi. It will take at least 2 hours for me to complete the puja. I cannot practice puja, of course, because as a tradition I have to do, I am doing. That's different. I cannot practice unclutching. There are many methods and techniques. I cannot do ajapa japa. By the time I repeat the mantra second or third time, already in samadhi. But still I practice some things. That is humble submission. Understand? Then understand the importance of this process. Whether I am not talking about the humble submission, the attitude of imbibing you need to have in front of the Guru. No, that is secondary. I am not even talking about that. Have that attitude with everything. When you look at a building, have that attitude of imbibing. You will imbibe whatever you need to from that. You will be enriched. When you need, that file will come up, a book. Start with that attitude of imbibing. Whatever is your essence, let it be imbibed in me. Let it become part of me. That is why any knowledge, I am not talking out of ego, any knowledge, it can be any complicated, whether it is legal or auditing or HTML code, any knowledge, I can be 100% sure I can imbibe, because I know how to imbibe. Go with the attitude of imbibing. Tadvidhi pranipadena pariprashnena sevaya. Go with the attitude of humble submission. With anything. If you are going to a new culture, if you are going to a new place, if you are going to a new person, if you are going to a new book, if you are going to a new field, with anything, do not have prejudice. Something, these fellows are wrong, these fellows are right, this book is not right, this thought trend is not right, this philosophy is crime, this philosophy is right. Don't go with that prejudice. Go with that mood of submission, imbibing. I tell you, if you have this attitude of imbibing, even the terrorist philosophy, you will learn something right and good. But with the attitude of arrogance, Even if it is the philosophy of enlightenment, you will make it arrogant and egocentric. I have seen people becoming egocentric reading great Advaitic literatures and people becoming enlightened, the worst terrorist books. George Gurdjieff is a flower out of the communist thorns. He was not given any enlightenment philosophy or Advaitic teachings. It's all the communist inputs, but with the attitude of imbibing, even from communism, he flowered as an enlightened being. I can give you 1000 examples, even from Advaitic literature, the egoistic fellows flowering. I tell you, attitude of imbibing. If you see, even now, if I get a new book in my hand, or a newspaper in my hand, or a magazine, anything before reading, you will see me stuck, pause for a few seconds. Only then I will start. Means there are something which I practice even now. Of course, some things I practice, that muddy means that cleanliness, that hygiene. That is not spiritual practice. That is more like I have decided to maintain my hygiene, and for that I am practicing. Those things are different. But there are some spiritual practice I do. In that, this attitude of imbibing is one. Understand? It may be completely negative information book or something wrong, but even to that, I go with the attitude of imbibing. When you go with the attitude of imbibing, anything gives you enlightenment. Try to imbibe, try to have this. Try this as a process. It will be very funny in the beginning. Sit in the house, take half an hour, and decide mentally to pay your respect to every object which is in front of your eyes. Maybe the carpet, or the photograph, or the wall, or the chair, anything which is around you. Please understand, you can learn the habit of imbibing and submission only with the objects which are around you first. If you cannot respect, if you cannot humbly submit yourself in front of the chair which is in your house, or the shoes which are in your house, or the wall which are holding your roof, you cannot submit yourself to God. If you imagine God and imagine your submission, it will only be ego playing with ego, that's all. First try with something objective in front of you. Don't expect you should be humble only in front of divine objects. What is divinity? When you add humbleness, it becomes divine, that's all. So if you add humbleness, everything will become divine. Add humbleness to your life. Let the life itself become divine. Attitude of imbibing. Attitude of receiving. Even now, I go on practicing it. There are some practices which is supposed to be done even beyond enlightenment. There are some you can't do beyond enlightenment. Unclutching, ajapa, japa, all these you can't do beyond enlightenment. There won't be, it is not possible, because the frequency is so different, you won't be able to do. But this attitude of imbibing, actually attitude of imbibing is radiating enlightenment. Unclutching, ajapa, ajapa, is living enlightenment. Once you become enlightened, over. But enlightenment constantly exploding happens only with the attitude of imbibing. Only with the attitude of imbibing, enlightenment goes on happening in you. Whether I sit in front of TV, I may be watching only the news. Even then you will see for a moment, I'll remind myself to the attitude of humble submission and imbibing. I tell you, by humble submission and imbibing, you will never be a fool, you will never be cheated. You will only imbibe exactly what is required. You will never be cheated. The attitude of imbibing, if you go with that attitude, every stone will become God. Every person will become God. Every object will become God. Everything will become divine. I tell you, one of the important ingredient in my life for my joy is attitude of imbibing with everything. With everything, I tell you. When you are in the attitude of imbibing, anything merges in you. But when you are with the attitude of arrogance, you are broken and made to merge with others. I tell you the secret. The life, if you are with the attitude of imbibing, merges into you and enriches you. If not, it breaks you and swallows you. The same teeth of the cat is death for the rat and holding jaw for kitten. The same teeth does not hurt the kitten, but it kills the rat because the instruction given from behind. Life as the teeth with the imbibing mood, it will be protecting you. With the attitude of arrogance, it will be killing you. Please understand. With the attitude of imbibing, see how beautifully this whole Madhurayadhyam responsibility I have imbibed, and it has only enriched me. All these fights have not taken away 1 inch of my confidence. My confidence only has grown. This fight, this struggle, nothing, it has not touched me at all. Not even one moment I felt, why did I come and take this responsibility? No. Anybody else would have felt, what am I lacking? Dhyana Pidam has everything. Why do I need to come and sit here? Actually, the real fight is, they know I represent the national religion. That is where the fight is. Understand? It is so unfortunate, one segment of Tamilians, especially deep south, does not want to mix with the mainstream India. It is that struggle. They know I represent the mainstream India's religion, about which they are afraid. These fools are talking, I don't know, Shaivism. And not only that, they know I represent a huge possibility, a new updation. I also wanted to announce that 4 places, the hospitals are starting, the places, everything has been finalized, and furnitures are getting bought. Furnitures and machineries are landing. We are expecting by June 5th, we will announce the inauguration of all 4 hospitals. 20-bedded hospitals. 4 20-bedded charitable hospitals. Each hospital is 20-bedded, 2 doctors and 4 nurses. All the basic facilities. and the life-saving medical care will be available within this June 5th. And they know the speed with which we will work. And I represent the collective sentiments of all the Hindus. There is a very famous Vishnu temple, Alagar temple, Kallalagar temple. That deity only gathers largest gathering of South India. Please understand, largest gathering in South India is 1 crore people gathering for the Kallalagar appearing in Vaigai temple, Vaigai river. That's the largest gathering of human beings in South India. In North India is Kumbh Mela. This is almost like South Indian Kumbh Mela. After the coronation, I went to the temple to offer my respect. Usually I go there to Kallalagar temple, but after the coronation I went there to offer my respects and devotion, prayers. The temple authorities have told me, Swamiji, you are the first Shaiva Mutt head entered our premises. Can you imagine? No, please understand. No, I am not happy about it. I am not happy about this information. Can you imagine? He says, I am here as the in charge for last 50 years. He is an elderly person. 50 years, the chief priest. He says, neither my father ever told me, nor I have ever seen a single Shaivite Mutt head entering this campus. Do you understand the subsect divisions with which we are suffering? And it is not somewhere far. And it is not the unpopular temple. Actually, I told Tirumala Devasthanam, Tirupati temple authorities that I am coming. They said, we will receive you with all the respects. You are the first Shaivite Mutt head who wants to come here. I am actually going after the Guru Puja, the June 5th. Actually, 292 Gurumahasa Nithyananda is very open person. He is not the fanatic type. I asked Swamiji, the Alagar temple, they said that I am the first Shaivite Mutt entered the temple. Even you never visited, Swamiji. He said, my predecessor told me not to go, so I did not go. Then I went, Swamiji. He said, that is nothing wrong. You please go ahead. Nothing wrong. I won't say you should not go and all. It is perfect. Go and come. But because my predecessor told me I don't want to break his word, so I am not going. See, that is his Guru Bhakti. That's different. But what I am saying, how can? I could not imagine how we are suffering with the subsect problems. Only these type of that subsect fanatics are opposing me. Nobody else. And actually they have given a press meet saying why I should not be in this Pita. They have given 3 reasons. He worships Vishnu also. He talks on Bhagavad Gita. Really? These are all the reasons they have given. I said, oh God, where are we heading? I know for sure. Now by going to Tirumala temple, I am going to create a big controversy. If I enter a church or mosque, there won't be a problem. But if I enter a Tirumala temple, there will be a problem. Can you imagine? But I am going to go. I also said, in all our temples, Vishnu will be there. In all our temples, Rama and Krishna will be there. In all our temples, Bhagavad Gita will be chanted. See, it is time we unite and represent the national sentiments. Jnana Sambandar himself, who is the founder of this mutt, has travelled length and breadth of the country, went up to Kedarnath, sang about the Kailash, Mansarovar. They all know. I will do two things. One, I will make the whole, this Madurayadinam, into a living, spiritual, national organization. Of course, international, that is different. See, geographically we will be having centers internationally. Philosophically, I will represent the whole national sentiments. Why they are opposing me? How I should break the whole thing. And in the Vedic tradition, there is an important thing. Whenever an enemy comes with a vyuha, plot strategy, whenever an enemy comes with a plot strategy, first thing you are supposed to do is humble submission, and with the imbibing mood you are supposed to approach. With the worshipful mood, prayerful mood, you are supposed to approach the enemy's plot strategy. When you go with that mood, the plot strategy itself gives you the method, the technique, ability to break itself. Our Swamiji 292 is very broad-minded person. During the Hindu-Christian riot in Kanyakumari, he went and stayed there for 4 months and sorted out the problems. He has done so many wonderful things. But even he has not stepped into one Vishnu temple. Can you imagine? You see, if he is also a close-minded or the old orthodox fanatic person, then we can say, okay. He is not that type. He is a very open person, broad-minded person, highly educated, and worked lot for the Vedic tradition, and he's raised his voice many times supporting the Hindu causes. Just actually 3 days before, the Ramdev Baba's trust was taxed, declared as a commercial trust. So for that, I gave a statement opposing that move and supporting Ramdev Baba. The moment Swamiji heard, he said, hey, add my name also. The moment he heard, he immediately said, add my name also. Why you did not add my name? I said, Swamiji, I did not know that whether you will be willing to support this. He said, no. In future, any statement you give, add my name also. Very open person, very progressive person. But even he could not step in to the Vaishnava temple. I was really surprised. Then understand some of the dirt with which Hinduism is suffering. Please understand. Now I am not criticizing them. I am self-criticizing. I am not criticizing those opposing groups now. Now it is not the time to criticize. Now it is time to feel as one body suffering. But I assure everybody, I will continue to represent national sentiments and create international organization. I tell you, even in front of enemy's plot strategy, vyuha, in the Vedic tradition, in Mahabharata, there are so many different plot strategies are explained. Bhatma vyuha, Chakra vyuha, Chandra vyuha, Agni vyuha, so many plot strategies are explained. Even in front of your enemy's plot strategy, go with the attitude of imbibing. it will save your life. It will make you experience the truth. It will give you the highest possibility. Tatvidhi pranibadena pariprasnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninaha tattvadarshinaha. Please understand, I am not now talking about going to a master with a humble submission and attitude of imbibing. To go to an enlightened being, these two are basic quality for you. Without that, if you go, you will learn. That is different. I am not even talking about that. That is only secondary. I am talking about bringing these two qualities in your life every moment, with every action, every second. Imbibe this attitude of submission and attitude of imbibing.
Paramahamsa Nithyananda, a rare living incarnation, is named among the world's 100 most spiritually influential personalities today. Paramahamsa Nithyananda has been placed alongside Dalai Lama, Nelson Mandela, Oprah Winfrey, Paulo Coelho and others by Mind, Body, Spirit, the world's top esoteric magazine from Watkins, London's oldest and largest bookstore. A yogi by birth, he has been expressing his power of enlightenment since birth. He has authored more than 500 books in Tamil and English. Translations of these books are available in 26 languages in Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam, Hindi, Sanskrit, Gujarati, Oriya, Bengali, Marathi, French, Malay, Polish, Portuguese, Italian, German, Danish, Spanish, Russian and Chinese. He is also an exemplary speaker with over 10,000 hours of profound life solutions through his discourses. Social services such as Annadan, free medical care, free educational services with ashrams, schools, temples, hospitals established in more than 140 places around the world, offering exceptional services. A powerful spiritual healer who has healed millions of people of diseases from migraine to cancer. A Kriya Yogi who has formulated Kriyas for physical health and mental well-being, benefiting thousands. A living master who offers practical solutions for our everyday problems. He is the founder and spiritual head of Nithyananda Dhyanapeetham, a spiritual powerhouse who has revived the sacred Vedic tradition by establishing Vedic temples in places like Los Angeles, San Jose, Seattle, Toronto, Ohio, Oklahoma, Phoenix, St. Louis, Malaysia, Brazil, Paris, Guadeloupe, Dallas, New York, New Jersey, Atlanta, Calgary, Vancouver, Singapore, and places in India like Bengaluru, Hyderabad, Tiruvannamalai. A spiritual guru for 10 million followers, an incarnation who transmits the highest spiritual energy through initiation, a contemporary yogi who has revived the Vedic science of yoga worldwide through thousands of yoga centers, an adept in Ashtamahasiddhis, mystical yogic powers, who has effortlessly awakened the Kundalini of thousands and graced them with spiritual powers, a dynamic young guru who is an inspiration for thousands of youngsters. India's most watched spiritual guru online, a beacon of spiritual light who has triumphed over the forces of religious terrorism and political persecution. Paramahamsa Nithyananda is an eternal Kalpataru, blessing the world with the boons of material abundance and spiritual enlightenment.
वन्दे पापविनाशक्तं नित्यानन्दाय स्वागतं नित्यमुक्तं निर्विकल्पं ध्यानलोकप्रदीपकं वन्दे शान्तमयं बन्धं नित्यानन्दाय स्वागतम् आनन्दगन्धसञ्चारं सर्वोपाधिविनिर्मुक्तं
Let you all achieve, experience, live, express, radiate, share and explode in eternal bliss. Nithyananda.
Nithyananda Dhyanapitham, Nithyananda Nagar off Mysore Road, Bidadi, Bangalore 562109. Contact 097422033311. www.nithyananda.org. www.youtube.com/Life Bliss Foundation.